All right, everybody, let us now initiate the official Immature Hour podcast number 25.
So great.
It's gonna get aggravating.
No, I fucking love it.
Every podcast, that's how we initiate it.
I'm perfectly fine with that.
Hello, everybody. My name is Alex. Fuck you, John.
And I'm Jim.
Thank you.
My name's Eric.
I'm noting.
Are we really doing this?
Yes.
Yeah, we do it every podcast, bruh.
Hold on, I gotta fix my fucking.
Clip it right here, you big dumb douche.
You clipped it right here,
Big
you
and
little
dumb and
skinny
douche.
douche.
I don't know what pop filters.
Right, it's not like John's been in the film industry for the past 400 years.
Cinematographer. You know how many pop filters I use? None.
Now one.
Now one
Get
more
good,
oneer
bruh.
than ever before.
Get good, bruh.
Look at this fucking recording ass. Amateur ass shit.
It's
And also with you.
And with your spirit.
What the fuck is this?
And he's John.
Hi, I'm John.
And welcome to the Immature Hour podcast number 25.
25. Yeah, we've really done 25 of these.
We can rent a car now.
We can.
It's not nearly as enjoyable as they said it would be.
Doing the podcast or renting a car?
I mean, I guess both.
Yes.
At least
These
you
guys
can
got
shit
two-
in the back seat and abandon a car. You can shit in the back seat of this podcast, I guess.
I think you already have.
Hey, he's got a point.
Damn. I feel like John just likes to shit all over anything that we do.
Not anything.
Just most things.
Only most things.
He has a
Only the things we record.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. You get all this.
That's true.
It's like one of the three things that I hate most. Is
Right.
the
Like
sound
chewing
of people
sound.
chewing.
Whenever
We see those don't. That doesn't bother me. But it's the sound of people eating a banana. It's like the worst.
very
Which
specific.
is weird, because if you plug your ears and watch someone eat a banana, it's hot as shit.
I just like how you were able to pinpoint specifically bananas
Oh
bother
god,
you.
dude!
Well,
There's
he's
a
right, though.
suction-y sound to it that gives it this extra little bit of.
John, you're right. This is getting hot.
It's actually funny that you say that because there's people on YouTube who make videos of them eating certain foods. And one of the guys I work with actually enjoys watching people
No!
eat shit. And it's like they'll eat like fried chicken and they'll eat it directly into the microphone. So you
Now,
can
when you
hear
say-
them like
Does he get like sexual gratification? Like, is he just like
Like, is
beating
he
off?
like, yeah, is he
It's-
like
I forgot what
one
it's
hand in the
called.
pants?
but it's like
Is it an ASMR video?
yes. That's
Yeah.
what it
Oh,
is.
with like
Those things are
super
weird.
high res microphone.
Yes, the resolution on the microphone.
Well, no, you know what I
you
mean.
can
Dude,
see
I just, like,
how sharp the microphone
Shut the fuck up, John. You know what? I'm not
See,
technical like
that's a
you.
film school joke right there.
I'm not technical like you.
He's just a band
I don't know
director.
none of your school
The
learning.
difference between hearing and seeing.
There are lots of words, and I use some of them incorrectly. So sue me.
Yeah, John, stop being a
I love you.
douche.
Jim,
I knew what
and
you
I'm glad
meant.
you're here.
Well, thank you, Eric. I appreciate it.
So, anyway, I think Eric wanted to talk about Far Cry 5 or some shit like that. I don't know, whatever.
I mean, like,
You mean the new Red State game?
yeah, it got announced a couple days ago, and then the trailer released yesterday. I
I'm
believe.
just going to warn you, these
Friday.
are not the best mic stands.
Yeah,
You might just have
seeing
to...
that. Might just have to start this podcast over.
Now we good. We good. No mulligans.
No mollies.
No
Let's do
mollies.
this.
No mollies. We ain't taking no mollies. Anyway, Red State.
Far Cry 5 takes place in fucking Montana. For some goddamn reason.
Because you know
That's
there's so many
Wisconsin.
things in Montana.
I don't know if you guys watched the trailer, but
did.
I got like a huge. I'm already getting like Outlast vibes from it, just because of the whole like cult religious thing going
Yeah.
on. I mean, clearly not as like horrifying.
I
It would
wonder
be
if that's
more
like
action.
the new.
Well, yeah, because I mean, it's
It's
probably
insane. It's like-
less rapey than Outlast.
Yeah.
It's almost like a reverse Cabela game. I wonder
So it's like
if you're
deer.
playing as a deer.
Or they have like they have sniper rifles and they're just like hunting
it's the deer
people.
uprising.
And then like whenever you zoom in, it shows like this is the sweet spot to shoot. A clean kill.
This is the best place to shoot a human.
Shoot
then
them
they-
in the anywhere.
They measure the penis size and like, this is a 10-pointer.
All of these are 1-pointers. I don't.
Oh, it's because we're in Montana.
Some sort of off-brand Buffalo Wild Wings that we can put these games in.
It reminds me, there was a movie that John Leguizamo was in that was called The Pest.
I fucking love that movie.
Oh, I'm so glad you'll say.
Yes.
And that's what it reminds me of. Like this dude that was a headhunter and would like put different like ethnicity people's heads on display, and he would just hunt them.
I'm pretty sure that's like the black cloud hanging over John Leguizamo's career.
Dude, I
At least
love
in his
that
own
movie.
eyes, but I think that movie is fantastic.
Right? It was fantastic. Oh man, I watched that movie religiously when I was a kid.
I've never seen it.
But
You're missing
I'm,
out.
I'm actually excited. I think we've spent too much time in what is the word I'm looking for?
Like the jungle kind of setting.
Yeah, like-
exotic settings.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
hypothetical exotic
Myanmar, you know, like come
Yeah.
on, let's go home.
settings with totally not Asian people.
Right.
No, I think it'll be really cool because like I enjoyed. Anybody here play Homefront?
No.
I saw I saw the premise of Homefront, and Homefront was really interesting.
That's probably why it tanked. It was a great concept. I thought it was super cool. Like it had that sort of like Red Dawn feel to it, except North Korea had taken over America and like you formed this like resistance force. But I thought it was super cool because the landscape was really neat because it wasn't like, oh, you're in a jungle, you're in a bombed out Russian city, or and maybe this is like my narrow view of the world, but it was neat playing a game like that and seeing like McDonald's restaurants and like things that you see in your everyday life, and I thought that was a cool change.
It
of
hits
pace.
home because it's like
Yeah,
that's the kind of setting that you live in. So it's interesting like playing a game where it's in that setting. I think that's why like us living in Louisiana, like those who played Resident Evil 7,
It kind of hit home.
it kind of hit home. And it's set in that like anything that like what's the word I'm looking for, like relates to you.
Right.
when you
I mean,
play those
granted,
kind of games.
we don't all live in like piecemealed together giant southern mansions.
Right?
Well, no.
We don't all
With-
live in plantation homes.
Yeah,
like that was like one of the weirdest game settings. It was like 3 houses that somebody glued
Oh,
together and then
yeah.
put a trailer in the middle of it.
It is a weird layout.
And then they also attached a cave and then
This'll
a
be
sunken
great
ship to
game
it.
someday.
I think it, like one of the things that I really wish whenever it comes to games is that anytime they do a Louisiana game, I wish they would get like authentic Louisiana people to do the actual accents instead of people who have like a vague semblance of what a Louisiana accent is.
God, like
Resident Evil wasn't terrible.
It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great.
the Jean-Claude Van Damme version of the Cajun accent.
I know it-
What movie was that? There was a movie where he tried to do a Cajun accent. He was in New Orleans. He was some sort of cop.
Fucking.
Oh God, they just don't hire Louisiana people to do Louisiana accents. It's just not a thing.
I know it's super
It's
dumb.
always exaggerated.
And it's something I'd love to see, and I know that it's hard to do because New Orleans is such a singular, like there's nothing else on the planet like New Orleans. But I would love to see something that is Louisiana, that is not New Orleans, because New Orleans is just one small part of Louisiana. I know that would be hard to do because, well, I mean, Lafayette is just a city, but like.
Like nobody's gonna make a game based in Baton Rouge or some shit
Well,
like that.
you say that, but there was a movie that came out. I think it was like 2005, 2006. It was called The Skeleton Key,
I remember.
and that one was actually the setting was actually on LSU
Plantation,
campus, in Baton Rouge, and then it was in like a non-existent town, but like it was like a
Right.
like a rural town like out of Baton Rouge,
Like-
and it was like in a plantation home.
Like Arborville. Anybody here watch The Blob?
No, oh, The Blob. Oh, it's been years. God,
I remember watching them film that. I'm old.
you old fuck.
But yeah, before we get too far from, even though we're kind of already far from Far Cry, there's actually a rumor.
That's a far cry from what we were talking about.
But before they
Segue.
announced, or they showed the trailer or whatever, there was rumors that it was going to be a Western game, and I'm super upset that it's not.
I remember
Red
that.
Dead for that.
Yeah,
dude.
but
you
it
don't
would
need
have been
two.
awesome. I do. Yeah, I do.
For yourself.
You can never have too many lassos.
Well, the thing is, like,
Man.
there's not a whole lot of Western games anymore.
I don't
Like,
get
Red
the-
Dead is the only one.
I don't get the Western thing.
It's
It's just not my.
It's 'cause you're a
genre.
city slicker.
To be fair, like I get the appeal, just not for me.
yeah.
And
And I was gonna say it's just it's. I mean, some people like fucking Star Wars. Some people like Star Trek. Some people like westerns.
Some people
like
enjoy
hating them,
gangrene.
yeah.
Exactly.
And then some people like gay porn. It's just a fact of life.
John.
I thought you were about to stroke the fucking.
No, that ushers in the beginning and the end of the podcast. That's it. You can't overdo it.
Usher.
Yeah.
I think I don't know. I have a hard time with westerns. I thought Red Dead was fantastic because it was such a departure from everything else. I kind of feel the same way about Western games that I do about like World War II shooters. You know, I think I'm just a technology buff. Mm-hmm. Like I don't understand the hate behind Infinite Warfare. I thought it looked cool as shit. I thought it looked like, you know, a merging between like Halo style sci-fi and Call of Duty mechanics. Not that I'm like a Call of Duty fan, but to me personally, I thought the game looked cool. I mean, I didn't play it, but
It looked cool, but not cool enough to play.
it did. Well, I mean, like when everybody was, and I know I'm kind of going off on a tangent here, but like when it became like the most hated video on YouTube, I didn't understand the hate. I felt like that was just kind of like a hype train sort of situation. But like now they're going back to World War II, and it's like, you know, like I like modern day weaponry, and I think that's why a Western game doesn't resonate with me, and probably why I didn't pick up Battlefield 1, because I'm like, like I like cool shit. Like
I'll say for me, like I feel like the futuristic technology, everything super modern is kind of oversaturated, and
I
like
can see that.
everything is either now or in the future. And like this is just me personally. Like there's not enough games that look back.
I think it's oversaturated because there's a lot more creativity you can have with doing futuristic things.
Right.
Yeah.
Possibilities are endless with future.
Right.
Because you never know what the future is. If you're trying to do a Western, you're trying to do World War II, something like that, all you have is these things that are set in stone, these characteristics that are set in these time periods that you have to abide by.
Right.
Unless you're doing some kind of like hybrid thing where there's like new technology mixed with old, like Fallout.
Arc.
Fallout's a good example.
Arc as well.
Or
Arc,
or unless you're using magic.
Well, I was gonna say I recently started replaying Wolfenstein the New Order, and like to me that is like the perfect combination of sort of like not futuristic sci-fi. Well, yeah, I mean I guess it's futuristic
A little bit.
sci-fi and you know the whole World War II shooter because of you know that whole like alternate reality thing. Has everybody
Yeah.
played
Yes,
Wolfenstein?
I
I played
bit
I
of
played
it.
Yep.
a Wolfenstein, but not the New Order.
Dude, it's so good.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Like my sleeper hit probably of this console generation. Surprisingly, really, really, really good.
It's pretty good.
So I wish, like, I've kind of phased away from first-person shooters in general, though. Like, I used to play a lot of them. Like, Jody and I used to do doubles on Halo 3 and stuff online. And I played a little bit of Black Ops 2 and, like, some other first-person, but, like, over the years, I've just kind of phased away from them.
I've gotten picky about them.
Yeah.
Because there's so many now that I'm like, there's only a handful that like I've actually really enjoyed. Doom's the only one that I can think of in the past 10 years that's been fucking awesome.
Doom was amazing.
I liked Prey. The
new one?
How
Yeah.
is
No,
it?
no, not the new one. The old
The
one.
original
Oh,
one?
like with the
The one
Native
on
American.
With the Native
character.
American. I don't know if you ever played it or
Turok?
got
Played
into it.
like an hour of it. It's really interesting.
I love Turok.
Turok was a great game, man.
Until they did it for Xbox 360, that one sucked ass. Like, it licked a giant taint.
Well, I didn't like the GameCube one. I'm talking about Nintendo 64, the original Turok. Mm-hmm. That was.
I never played.
Anyways,
Played the shit of it.
I never played the original Prey.
I
Because
didn't either.
before
it
I
was
had a
it was
360.
short. That was the problem with it. It was that it was really short. But the mechanics of the game were cool because I mean it was like you were a Native American, and you had like
dimensions and
extraterrestrial.
Are you talking about the one for 360?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
stuff.
No, it was a
launch
cool.
game.
It was a cool game. I mean,
Can you like spirit walk or
yeah,
something
no,
like
you
that?
actually, absolutely, yeah.
That's fucking dope.
Yeah, it was great. But I didn't get a chance to play the new one.
I heard the new one was pretty good. Like I watched a little bit of like
I heard it was
Markiplier
Prop
playing
Hunt.
it. Huh?
I heard it was prop hunt.
Kind of. It's like prop
Yeah.
hunt with aliens.
Yeah.
But except it's dangerous because the props can actually attack
It
back.
kept scaring the shit out of me though. You were there for a little bit. I was like kind of dicking around when we were about to do our Outlast stream, and I was playing the demo for it. Like literally every time a fucking mimic would pop up from a cup, you're like, ah, I'm like just jump because like anything can be a fucking alien.
Just inch your way through the game, like
Just thinking of everything and just like
just poking everything.
Yeah.
Are you squishy? I used to joke that I would love to see a Call of Duty Revolutionary Warfare, where it's all muskets.
Dude,
You get
I would
one
actually
shot
enjoy
for
the
every-
fucking shit out of that.
You
3
say
minutes.
that. Okay, everyone who fucking says, "Oh yeah, I would love it if like the guns like worked like the old-fashioned guns that they take 2 minutes." No, you wouldn't.
No, I'll tell you this, because it's when you play a game right now where you have a fucking M4, you just shoot and like you don't have to think about what you're doing. But in a game where if it took you 2 minutes to reload, you wouldn't make that one shot count.
Well, I
And
mean,
then it would
you
like
do
curve
that. You
to the
do
left
that.
or to the right.
Right.
You do that with what Dark Souls and stuff, right? Or any game that now has breakable items. Like so you're budgeting what you can do with your stuff. But I mean, if you really had,
I'm just imagining that like what the gameplay would be like. Everybody like lining up in rows,
kneeling down, having the musket over your
Ready your rifles.
I will say there was actually a
the
game.
troll running around with a hatchet, just like
I don't remember the name of the game, but there was a game where you played this guy who was kind of pulled into this whole time travel situation,
This sounds really familiar.
and you started out in the Civil War, and you had a musket, but you also had like a
You
Like
kind
a
of
flintlock
time
pistol
hop.
or something.
yeah, it was like a 6-shooter. So like it kind of helped counterbalance it, but having that one shot, you're like, okay, do I use it for this guy? All right, he's kind of close. I can actually hit him. Like, no, I'm gonna save this.
And I guess it wouldn't be any different than like if you were playing an RPG where you use a power that has a cooldown.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
It's
you
just
have
cooldown it's a gun cooldown.
yeah.
It's a cooldown where you have to sit still for
imagine
2
like
minutes.
you sit there, you put the musket down, you're pouring the gunpowder in there, you
Dude,
You have to go through
That
the
would
whole
be-
process manually.
Right, exactly. It's
While running
it's
away.
a quick time event.
See, now saying that would actually be a really cool VR game.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
I like to.
you know what? Yeah, you're right.
But I will say
We'll
that
just cut this
Civil
from the
War
podcast.
hero. Can we do that? Civil War hero. It's like Guitar Hero, but with a musket. You get your own musket. You plug it in. It's like a fucking bop it or something. Twist it, pour it, pack it.
Oh shit.
Jesus. And then some fucking like swing music plays in the background while you're doing it, and you gotta load it.
So a bad player piano in the
or
background.
Yankee Doodle plays the whole time.
George Washington's in the back beating a drum.
Dixie song.
That would be awesome. Oh, man.
I'm the only one that would fucking hate that. Come on.
And it would be like DDR at the same time. Right, you have to run away.
So you're like having like dodge bolts and you're like dancing. Instead it's like the cha-cha slide. It's like, take it back now, y'all. 2 jumps to the left.
Ubisoft, get at me. We need to make this happen.
Except there needs to be no tutorial, so it just throws you in there and you
Oh,
overstimulate
God, yeah.
right
And
from the
it just
get-go.
starts playing music and you're like, fuck, what do I do?
And there are survival elements. You're cold. You're hungry.
Also, like when you first start, there's gonna be, you have to pull a number out
You've
of a
got
hat, and depending on what
trench foot.
number you are, that's how far up in the line you are. So it's like, if you pull like a 1, you're in the front row, buddy, so you better
God.
dodge fast.
You know, this YouTube thing doesn't work. Let's just be game developers.
That's right, man.
We're only good at theories.
I
We
mean,
can't
we only
program
have
for shit.
we basically only have to make a demo and then put it on Seamless Early Access and then give up on it, and people will buy the shit out of it.
And then
So-
name it DayZ, and it'll be perfect.
Exactly.
Damn,
I'm not
shots
salty,
fired.
you're salty.
You want to talk about it?
Oh, man.
We did.
Oh, yeah, we've
We
talked
did.
about it. We've been talking about that for years.
I don't listen to our podcast.
Speaking of
Neither does Jody.
shitty games, what's going on with Sean Murray?
Jesus Christ.
Somebody came in and bought it the other day, and I was like, go ahead.
You didn't stop him?
No.
Did you emphasize the return
Look.
policy?
Look, If you're trying to teach a kid not to do something bad, you have to let him get in trouble first.
Sometimes you just gotta let them touch the stove.
Yeah.
Just let him fucking stick the fork in the electric socket.
Dude, it's funny. Jesus. My God.
Sometimes you have to let them lick the acid.
I first thought about lick the ass. I was like, all right.
All right, Jim.
No,
Acid.
Don't have kids.
Sid.
Now we know what Jim's doing on his free time, just licking acid
That's
constantly.
right. Guys, I'm tripping balls right now. I hope you know that. No,
I knew it. I can imagine him like directing music and he's just like high as fuck.
High school band director.
I have
tripping
become the
balls
music.
now.
Really? Like, all right, the next note is blue.
Just
Guys, do you? And then there's like,
Guys, do you smell that note right there? God.
I can imagine
Just
Jim doing
becomes
this and
this
they're like,
fucking like Disney Channel thing, so he's like turn it into the fucking Mickey Mouse symbol.
oh man. Fucking-
I don't
and
know
then-
this time signature.
But every time he just does this and this, like the bench is getting louder and softer.
That's
and
right.
louder.
Kudos to them for being consummate professionals.
Hey, it's hard, man. I'm just glad it's the summer because now I can just goof off and
Now
play,
you can get high
play
as balls
video
without being
games.
judged.
Oh no, I don't do that. Don't do drugs, kids.
Dare.
Unless you want to, then totally do drugs.
What he said.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say Patrick just got a PlayStation 4 and he bought
Patrick
No Man's Sky.
just did drugs.
I mean, probably, but that's besides the point. He got a PS4 and he bought No Man's Sky as well.
Does he like it?
I haven't talked to him about it. I saw it on his
Like,
PS4.
I can't tell anyone not to get it now because they have added a lot to the game.
It's significantly different than
I
it
mean,
was.
had it been like a week after the game came out or whatever, I'd be like, no, dude, what are you doing with your life?
Sweetie,
There's only one
sweetie,
game
no.
there's only one game that I refuse to sell to people. Like I'm like, I don't want to sell this to you. Is Brink? It's only one. Brink is the only game. That fucking piece of shit garbage. Doo doo.
Garbage.
Garbage doo-doo piece.
What are you doing? Stop it. Get help.
Chicken McNuggets.
Chicken McNugget.
What else is what else you got today?
Stop it. Get some help. Fucking Michael Jordan. So we found out something really interesting before we started the podcast. So all Square Enix is going to be pulling flippity-doo on everybody over here.
Uh-oh.
They're about to
Oh, no,
Snuckledorf
they
people.
Flippity don't.
I saw something about Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy VII taking another 3 years. Is that it?
They're estimating that it'll probably be released in 2020.
Wow.
What dick? Dickery.
Square Enix's dick. That's
Wow.
Just take away my Christmas candy.
What? Like,
Owen Wilson is not happy about that.
fucking.
No, that's a bummer, really.
Like, I kind of don't understand how a big company like Square Enix has been working on this game for, like, what, 2 years already? And
Maybe
I mean, let's be
longer.
fair. They've probably been working on that in secret for much longer.
And that's kind of what I'm getting at. Like, they've probably been working on it for fucking probably 10 years now.
look, my thing is,
Fucking Duke Nukem.
Yeah.
but yeah, I feel like when it comes to game development, there's a point where it's okay to take a long time. Like, honestly, I'm okay with it taking until 2020 to be made, as long as they pump out a fucking masterpiece. You get what I'm saying? I don't mind if a game takes a long time if it's good, if it's worth the wait. There's plenty of games that have taken a long time and have come out fantastic. I think BioShock Infinite got pushed back a few times.
It got pushed
That's
back
a-
like 2 years.
That game's fucking gold.
Same thing with Witcher. Witcher 3 got pushed
Witcher
back a few
3,
times.
Like, I mean, there's a long list of games that have been extended on the time that
fucking
it's
Breath of the
taken
Wild
to-
was like pushed back like 3 years.
Oh yeah, so I mean,
Sometimes.
sometimes it's good for that to happen.
Jody, you never
Now,
finished it. You can't talk about that.
I think any longer than 2020, and then we're gonna have a problem where it's not about trying to perfect the game, but I think it's them struggling to actually make the game.
Well, my thing is, and I already know the answer is no, is will I still give a shit in 2020? Probably not. Like,
You don't think?
I already don't give a fuck about Kingdom Hearts anymore. Like, the last one I played was 2 on, what was it, PlayStation 2?
Yeah.
In 2006, because I didn't feel like hunting down every handheld console to, dive deeper down that fucking convoluted rabbit hole. Like, I don't give a shit about Kingdom Hearts anymore. I know Ben is going to be all up in arms about it because he loves Kingdom Hearts, and that's
He's-
cool.
He's going to a fucking Kingdom Hearts concert next week.
Hey, it's going to be a nice concert.
This is gonna be a
It
nice
is gonna-
concert.
Yeah.
I mean, that
Kingdom Hearts soundtrack is
is
amazing.
beautiful.
No, I was yeah. I'm just saying like literally like the one person to be angry about it will be
It will
Ben.
be, yeah.
But like, it just I don't I don't understand the reasoning behind it, because the people who were their key demographic, like the people who were the original people playing the main entries of the series,
Are like 40 now.
yeah, like I played it when I was 21. Yeah, I was 21 or 22. I'm 33 now. Like, I'm going to be almost 40, but if it comes out in 2020, I will be almost 40 by the time that game comes out. There's no fucking excuse for that. There's no fucking excuse for that.
Now, to be fair...
No! Not even to be fair.
No. To be fair, they've come out with more than just, like, Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. They've had a lot of other sequels as well. So it's not like the series just, like, died and then they pumped out remasters for 20 years.
But they have been doing a lot of remasters, and they've only been like pseudo like sequels.
Yeah.
But it's like, in order to play them all, I would have had to have a DSi, a 2D,
Oh, yeah, that was a big...
a 3DS, a PSP.
a PS Vita.
And then they had remasters on the PS3, and then they had the remasters on the PS4. Like,
so, like, am I expected to spend $1,500 on consoles to be able to keep up with, with the storyline, or can I just go to Wikipedia and like try and piecemeal this shit together?
Yes, John. Yes, you are absolutely expected to do that, and
So I
many
guess-
people did, and
I
that's
guess-
why they do this shit. It's incredibly frustrating.
Well, especially
I want to ask you something. Have you played Kingdom Hearts? Like, have you played through Kingdom Hearts?
I played the first one when it first came out because it was like way super hyped, and I was like, I gotta get that game. And I rented it and played it probably about halfway through, and then was just like lost interest in it, and I have not touched it since.
Shit. I was going to ask you, because I know you're a huge Metal Gear fan. I was going to ask you what story plot's more convoluted, Metal Gear or Kingdom Hearts.
I don't even know the fucking Kingdom Hearts one, and I'll tell you right now, it's Metal Gear Solid. Like,
I don't know,
fair.
man.
That's
Kingdom
fair.
Hearts is pretty robust.
I would say, to be fair, Kingdom Hearts does have more games, but
Does
I mean, no.
That's-
I think if you
I think it's a close race.
I would say if you mix like fucking like the what is it, like Chain of Memories, like 3652, they have like
You know, there's been like
1,
11
2.5
Metal Gear games, right?
I would say, has there really been that many?
There's
Yeah.
Is Acid canon?
no. No.
He just had a seizure thinking about that, or a
takes
stroke or something.
I think we
What are you
just
talking
proved
about,
that
bro?
Jody's a cyborg.
What's Metal Gear S?
Eyeball pops out.
Like, Metal Gear Acid, from what I've been told, because I never got to play it, takes place in the
Turn-based.
universe, but it is not canon to the overall story.
Gear.
What do you mean, the Lalo?
Meryl. My gosh, she's so hot.
Hot, 'cause I want to bang her.
Yo, dog, fucking follow me. No,
But
man, I don't think
nah,
so. Yo,
just fucking follow me. Okay.
All right, shit.
Ow, Jesus, my ear. Sorry, bruh. Thanks, Jesus.
David
It's cool.
Hayter is like the best worst voice actor ever.
I know.
Gross, you taking a shit? Hell yeah, man.
Like he built a career on.
Meryl.
The fucking Meryl is the best. Do a Meryl roll.
Do a Meryl roll.
Fuck.
Well done. I think that can cap that joke.
Oh shit. But no, it's funny that we talk that for the tangent on Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy VII Remake. Square Enix also announced that they are going to be moving away from the model of releasing fully finished games, and they're going to start releasing all games as episodic content, similar to how they did the new Hitman game.
Which brings about the second point of my fuck you Square Enix rant.
Right?
I know.
Like,
Go ahead.
Like that's even worse. Is like, if you think about it, they're expecting 3 years to finish this game that they're then going to release in piecemeal.
Look, here's my thing. I didn't play the Hitman games, but I personally didn't have an issue with the way that they set up their Hitman, their new Hitman, with it being episodic. It's still $60 when you get the whole thing, so there's no like. It's not like you're paying $20 for each piece and it's like 5 pieces. That'd be ridiculous. So like, I think it keeps you wanting more and it keeps you hooked in. What's a good example? Like the Telltale series is all done episodically. No one
but
complains
the
about
pro-
that.
no,
Those are
I-
fantastic.
I got
okay.
bored. I got bored waiting for the content to come out.
I would
And
say
I
it's
want a full
also-
game. I want to sit and because I'm the kind of gamer that is a one and done gamer. I'm not gonna sit and replay and replay and replay.
Mm-hmm.
And I know not everybody's like that, but for someone like me, I want to sit down and play this stuff. And being a school teacher, I got the summer off. I want to sit down, play the game all the way through, be done with it, and have it on the shelf or whatever. I'm really not going
Right.
to play it again. So if I have to sit there and wait, and then a month later, then I'm gonna get the next episode.
And what's even worse
I
is by
just-
then you might forget what happened in the first episode. 'Cause then you
Exactly.
gotta replay
It ruins the experience for me. I want to just get it all. At
Well,
the,
then-
at
If
the
there's one thing
beginning.
that video gamers are, it's patient.
Exactly.
They're also understanding, very understanding. Well, but what I was going to say is the only reason that there's an issue is because they did that with Hitman. They never even finished the Hitman game. They ended up canceling it before they released the last 2 episodes of it.
Well, they have that full release.
It's the full release of everything that they've released so far, but they never finished the game. They had like 1 or 2 more episodes they were supposed to release for Hitman, and they canceled it.
Why?
See, I didn't know that.
Square Enix.
Well, that's what happens when you drag, when you assume, like, think about how many games that were an assumed trilogy that never made it past
One.
game 1 or game 2.
Too Human.
Two Human, perfect example. That was supposed to be a trilogy. The first one fucking tanked.
I
then they never
loved the
finished
first one
it.
though. Holy shit, I loved it. Well, I mean, it kind of goes
You
back.
and Jodie Osmer, I swear to God.
Dude, it kind of goes back to like even Darksiders. They just picked up Darksiders 3, but that was supposed to be a 4-piece. Darksiders 1 through 4 to cover
Yeah, I
the
like
4
those
Horsemen.
games, though.
Yeah, I did too. I loved the
Yeah,
Dark
they're great.
Side. And so like they finally picked up the Darksiders 3. So like they're gonna do it third
because they seemed really cool.
And honestly, I mean, it had like the Prince of Persia feel to it, a little bit. You got to climb
some
all
Zelda
over
elements,
everything,
too,
some Zelda
thrown in
elements,
there.
the hack and slash,
Like God of
but
War
then
style.
But then you had the sandbox. It's like you're not. It's not fully linear. I mean, you got things to follow, but I think those games are highly underappreciated.
Well, I think that was a matter of marketing because that came around the time that God of War was
Yeah,
still
it was
kind of
around the
coming
time
out,
where
right?
God of War was,
Exactly.
blowing
So, like,
up.
I was about to say, I think a lot of very similar games were coming out around that time.
Dante's Inferno came
yeah,
out at the
Dante's
same time.
Inferno, and I loved that game, but it was too short. But
Well, I
it
think
was like
people
5
thought
hours?
it was going to be another God of War. They didn't realize that it was actually a much deeper game
right.
with adventuring elements and things
a
like
game
that.
that didn't tell you exactly what to do.
And I
Yeah.
think,
Oh, yeah.
I think
No.
they realized that they were with the second game, like Darksiders 2. I think they tried to separate themselves from God of War by adding the RPG elements,
Which I really loved.
I loved it. It was
good.
fantastic.
I really did enjoy that.
But to go back onto that topic with like Hitman and the episodic stuff, I think another great example of people who want to release episodic content and fail is game companies who sell season passes for DLC for games and then they don't release any DLC. It's a great example of like pay ahead of time for it and we'll release you content, maybe possibly. Nope, never mind, bye.
Yeah,
And I think that idea of episodic content is, I feel like it's a sorry excuse for trying to get money before the game is ready, kind of similar to
It's-
early
it's
access.
like
I was about to say,
financing
it's-
it as you go.
Yeah.
That never works. You
It's-
should have.
It's kind of like the AAA early access.
And it's in a way, it's also kind of like they're not willing to commit because they'll see how it sells and they're like, oh, it's not going to sell well. We're just not going to finish it, kind of thing.
Well, that even happens with good games. I mean, I'm still waiting to see how Doom actually ends. Anybody here who's played it, how many DLC packs have they put out now? 3 or
There's
4?
only 3.
But they're all multiplayer.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anybody, I'm not going to ruin anything, but it definitely ends on a cliffhanger, and that's a little frustrating because I keep waiting for that story DLC. It's like, oh, buy the season pass, blah blah blah. But how long has Doom been out now?
We're not for a year and a half now.
About a year and a half. Come on,
Give me my shit.
your whole thing was really pushing the single player experience. Then you need to give the single player experience some love. That's not to
Right.
say Doom was a bad game. It was incredible.
Oh, no, yeah.
But
I didn't even know they were gonna do it as DLC. I thought, when I got to the cliffhanger, I was like, well, that's leading up for a sequel.
and maybe it is. I don't know, but something.
Yeah,
I get some
that.
You guys
closure
are about
or-
to get inceptioned. They're just gonna leave it. No more Doom for
No
you.
more Doom. I'd be really sad. I got to play just because it's on the same topic, Doom related. I got to play the beta for Quake Champions, which is a free to play arena shooter. It's really good. It feels really similar to the Doom multiplayer,
I used to play the shit out of Quake.
but it's got more emphasis on like class-based stuff. So like every character has an ability or whatever. Kind of like Overwatch, but with less like side abilities. Like
Team
it's just like your
Fortress.
ultimate.
Oh yeah, TF2 more. Okay, yeah.
And, like there's weapon pickups that you go and grab and everything. I had never gotten to play Quake growing up.
I just
played
want a new
Doom,
Serious Sam.
but maybe one day.
35.
Maybe
Yep.
one day. Yeah, Quake. I think that's gonna be good.
But my fear is that they're gonna try and piecemeal together Final Fantasy VII, and they're gonna release it as this episodic like magnum opus, and it's just never gonna live up to. Like I feel like they're gonna try to do too much, and it's never gonna be really done. Like because Final Fantasy VII is this like juggernaut that no one is ever gonna be happy with, and I'm having trouble articulating it, but my fear is that they're just gonna totally fuck it up.
There's too much nostalgia with it.
Yeah.
I think the whole thing with Final Fantasy VII is that people have a shit ton of nostalgia for it. So they're never gonna please everybody.
No.
They're gonna be like, "Oh, this doesn't feel like how it was."
Well, like they were talking about totally revamping the combat system to make it more like I want to say it was Final Fantasy 15, which to me is the worst fucking thing they can do.
You see, I'm on the opposite end of that.
Yeah, me
because
too.
One of the reasons why I never got into the Final Fantasy series is because it's turn-based.
Same here.
I'm not a fan of turn-based stuff.
See, I love turn-based.
15 was the first one that I picked up and fucking enjoyed. And I never beat it because I got caught up doing other games. But Final Fantasy 15 was really good. And, like, I'm really excited to play 7 whenever the fuck it comes out for that.
Final Fantasy 15 to me felt like I was watching a beautiful movie that I had to move the characters from one action scene to the next and then hold the play button while the action scene played out.
So Metal Gear.
I will say, like,
Yeah.
I actually do like turn-based games, but like if they redo the combat, I feel like it'll make the game go a little bit faster. Mm-hmm. And because the only reason I'm interested in Final Fantasy VII is because I never played the original. Because I mean, it's when I was interested in it, I couldn't find it. But anyway, I'm kind of interested in the remake, so I can actually play it for the story. So I feel like a revamped combat system where I'm not sitting here like, oh, I gotta worry about this and should I do this move? Like I can just zone out, hack and slash, or however. Because I never played Final Fantasy 15, but however 15 was, and just like get through it, enjoy the story. Like if you're playing the game for the story, I don't see a problem with it.
See now, what they did implement something in that was really neat in the. They actually did a re-release of Final Fantasy VII on PSN.
They did it on PC as well.
And they actually did. They implemented a mechanic in the game where you could actually turn off the random encounters. So like you could just kind of go through the game and not have to worry about like every 7 feet being in combat, being in combat.
Another thing that got me about 7 is the graphics.
Yeah.
Like if I go, there's a certain period of time where the graphics were like trying to be cutting edge, but they're not.
Oh, PS1's graphics are doo-doo.
Yeah, and like that era of games, like I cannot play them. Like I have fond memories of them,
man.
but I can't play them.
Like I remember enjoying the shit out of Metal Gear Solid 1, like 2 years ago when I played it finally. But remember the whole time just being like, ugh.
Well, I feel the same way about Twisted Metal. Like,
Yeah,
you
like-
play that game. I can't. We didn't have a PlayStation in my
many
house,
hours.
but I would walk over to my next door neighbor's house and we would play the fuck out of Twisted Metal. But at the end of the day, your eyes are bloodshot. You're like, you can't even concentrate on anything because the graphics were not great. Because I mean, it was sure it was.
Just remember
at the
blowing
time.
up the White House.
Right, exactly. But disorienting is the word for it. I mean, it really the cartoonish but real.
Dude, those were cutting edge 3D graphics.
I will
God,
say
it was-
like the people like I don't know what it was like to be a part of that because like I was kind of too young to care about graphics and shit.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure whenever those graphics were coming out, people were like, "Holy shit, that's fucking
yeah.
awesome!"
No, it really
And
was.
like
Yeah.
watching your first cutscene that was like
Fully rendered.
and
Yeah.
like kind of like directed as a movie was just like probably holy shit, this is fucking awesome.
When I
it
got
looks
my-
like shit, but damn.
When I got my first, the first Xbox, the first game I got was a game called Azaric. I don't know if you remember
I
this
played it.
game. It's
I liked
Elemental Warrior.
I really
It
liked
was
it.
the first game that was supposed to have no loading screens. That was like, but they gave you a black screen whenever you'd go from there. It was just like a black screen.
It just doesn't
for,
say
a little
loading.
bit, for a little bit longer than
They'll
you know,
never
just
know.
like the change. But I was like, man, this
More
is the
innocent
most
time.
beautiful game I've ever seen. You know, I was looking at the stuff, and then I watched some gameplay of it a while back, and I was just like, how did I even play this
is
game?
turds.
Yeah, this is awful. What was that? You know, but
I remember that game. I played a lot of that game. I
yeah,
liked it.
It was you kind of stack elements and stuff like that. Maybe that would be worth picking up an old Xbox just to try and see if I can't.
Man, just try to get an emulator. Fucking emulate that shit.
It's kind of funny, like looking back on games like games that we played, and we have very specific memories of like playing the shit out of it and like it looking great. And then you go back and look at it, you're like, dude, this game is
What was I
fucking doo-doo.
thinking?
Because when we were like, that was
It's
all we
the doo-doo.
that was the standard. Like that was as good as it got back at that time. So it's like I remember playing Castlevania on the N64
Oh, I remember
and
that
thinking
one.
that game looked fucking amazing. And then I finally
That
got to
draw
play it again.
distance.
Yeah. Like, and I finally got to play it again last year, and I was like, oh my
Oh
lord.
no.
It was so bad.
Oh, honey, what is you doing?
You know what I miss in games, and I feel like I'm gonna go off an old man tangent here.
You've been doing that for the
Back
past
in
hour.
my day,
Ah,
A selfie meant
I miss
masturbation.
oatmeal.
Did you say a selfie that masturbation?
Back in my day.
So what is a selfie stick back in the day?
A vibrator.
Oh, no, I miss full motion video. Like I miss games that would like they would use actual actors and they would
Need for
shoot.
Speed.
Yeah, like I miss that, like the Wing Commander series.
oh my gosh, Mark
and,
Hamill and all that. Oh yeah, for sure.
like big
And they
name
just like
actors.
pixelate it to where it could fit on the fucking
Yeah.
cartridge.
280p. But no, I thought that was super cool. Like I miss stuff like that.
I remember like Mortal Kombat's another good example. Where, like they digitized the actors and stuff.
Yeah.
And, like
I was watching a
so
behind the
fucking-
scenes video the other day of
Yeah.
how they did all the rotoscoping and everything.
Dude, I'm really glad that was something I didn't have to do much of in school. Rotoscoping,
Rotoscoping
is
is
the
awful.
worst. Holy fuck, that's the worst. One of my professors, that was his specialization. That's what he specialized in doing, was rotoscoping. I'm like, why would you torture yourself?
Specialize in hating myself.
Right? If you don't know what rotoscoping is, basically you have a big TV that lays the glass up, and you play the frame of a movie, basically put a piece of paper over it, and draw each individual frame out over it in a specific artistic style, and you do frame by frame for an entire movie.
That's how they used to do visual effects.
pass. Hard
Fucking
pass.
awful. I had to rotoscope once, and it was the worst.
That's how they did the entire first Prince of Persia game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the guy filmed his brother doing all the moves, and then he
Oh, that's
rotoscoped
neat.
each and every. That's why all the original games look so fluid, even for the time.
Because
it's
they're actually
based
based
on
on
actual movement.
Yeah, that's not too shabby. Good for them.
Today I learned.
Hey,
TIL.
now we got mocap, so we ain't gotta worry
Right.
about any of that
Yeah.
shit.
Exactly. No more rotoscoping.
Mocaption is the
Yeah,
best
I mean,
thing ever.
I didn't play Mass Effect Andromeda, but seems like we're really killing it in that department.
Hey, they fixed it, man. Kind of right.
Dude, I remember whenever Heavy Rain came out, and like the mocap in that game was fantastic. But now whenever you look back, you're like,
Remember?
LA Noire
I was
still
about to
has
say,
the best
LA Noire.
fucking mocap.
That was like one of the first games where they started using the facial
Yeah.
capture,
Facial
and they had like
capture,
the
yeah.
360 camera around them.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that was impressive.
It's super. And I remember seeing a post one day, and it was a screenshot of this old man in LA Noire, and you just like look at them to tell if they're lying, or whatever. And after some dialogue, he like makes this weird like disgruntled face, and somebody commented, "That actor actually fucking made that face and held it for like 10 seconds. It's so weird looking."
And then Andromeda looks just like the intro scene to Mario 64, where you can grab his face.
Eyebrow up this way and chin going down.
I will say that seems to be a problem nowadays. Is like people pushing out unfinished games, and then like, oh, we'll just fix it later.
Yeah.
looking at you, Sean Murray.
Jesus Christ.
He already had his one mention.
Hey man, we're 2 for 2
Yeah.
now.
We didn't do it last week. So we had to make
Oh,
up.
okay.
Can you help me out here? Who the fuck is Sean Murray?
Sure.
Just leave it at that.
Okay, all right.
He's got to know, John.
Does he?
Yeah.
It's probably better that he did.
We'll talk.
He's
off
my
podcast.
Chibupi.
Look up Sean Murray.
It's very off
Google
brand for
time.
us.
Mon Sherry.
But no, my taking this back to the original topic. I'm very worried about episodic releases for games like Final Fantasy VII because I feel like it gives them too much opportunity to either fuck it up or withhold for some reason because of some arbitrary pay barrier, or like once the game's out then they can't be like, no, give it back because we want to sell you more shit. I'm just worried that they're gonna fuck it up. So I think my whole philosophy towards Square Enix is gonna be after
Now you get it.
after the re-release of Final Fantasy XII, I'm just gonna set them adrift on a plank of ice.
I will say, like, the one good thing I see about episodic release is if you're on the fence about getting a game and you don't want to spend $60 to get it, and you're like, I'll just buy the first episode and see what it's like.
That's true.
Then you can buy that first episode and you're not dumping $60 into a game you're going to hate.
I would say, but
Because I almost did that with Hitman, but I actually read the reviews and it was like terrible, so I was like, no, I'm not going to get it.
But I will say, to go flip that, if you're playing on PC, Steam, you can return games to Steam if you play less than I think 2 hours.
That's correct.
Well, sometimes it takes longer than 2 hours for you to be like, I don't like this game.
But also, what's to stop them from never ending the game?
Yeah.
That's another good point as well.
Like
I just-
the whole thing about playing an RPG is like there's a conclusion to the story.
Mm-hmm.
Like you feel satisfied that like I went through this adventure and I reached the logical conclusion of this tale. With episodic releases, what's to keep them from going? Yeah, but like there's like more stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean,
Like,
I'm not,
you don't
I
have to
wasn't,
buy that though.
Right,
And
but I
then-
want the finished product.
Like-
I know how Final Fantasy VII ends.
Right.
Like, give me the ending.
I'm not trying to like say like
Finish me.
It's okay to do it. I'm not
I
saying
mean,
they
if you
should do
insist.
it. I'm just saying that is the one good thing I see from it.
Video
Is
game
being
blue
like,
balls.
oh, I don't know if I want this game or not.
Yeah.
I'm gonna spend $20 to see if I like it or not. Okay, cool. I don't like it. I'm not gonna spend any more money on it.
Well, you can do that. It's called Redbox.
Yeah.
You can Redbox.
I mean,
Not if they release it episodically.
well, there you go. See, that's what I'm saying. It's like I'd much rather be able to do the Redbox or the GameFly or whatever, if that's even still a thing.
Yep.
I do think it's interesting. I'm wondering if they'll be able, like, how, like, if it does move towards an episodic content kind of thing, how would you do physical game purchasing, like purchasing
You
a
can't.
physical version?
They
Unless
released,
they
they
did,
released
like,
the
a-
full thing. Like once it's fully released.
Yeah,
then
you have to wait
Like
for
Hitman
all of
has
the
a physical
episodes.
copy now because the entire thing.
I don't want to wait.
But how long did it take for that physical copy to get released after the game was released?
Oh, about like
you know?
6 months,
You see, that's just too much time.
I thought it was like a year.
something like that.
I was saying,
But still, that puts
does
the
kind of
game
suck.
coming out
Yeah.
now in 2021.
Yeah.
I would say that does kind of suck for people who don't have PC or they don't have the storage space to be able to do physical or episodic. They have to do physical, so now they can't enjoy the game until like 6 months to a year after other people have been able to enjoy
When
it.
it's partially a storage issue, but then again, not really, because storage is super cheap now, and you can just plug a USB 3 drive into a PS4 and have up to 8 terabytes of space. The problem comes in is that we don't have the internet speeds to facilitate a 100% digital architecture for console gaming yet. Like, there are people just 20 minutes south of here that are getting 3 megabits down and 1 up if they're lucky. You know, we don't have the internet infrastructure to handle like 100% digital across the board.
Thanks,
And that
Trump.
puts a lot of people at a disadvantage. Like, if I was still living in Abbeville right now and I wanted to play Final Fantasy VII, I'm just shit out of luck because the internet's garbage out there. So like, I would have to wait another year to year and a half for all of the episodes to release, for them to release some bullshit special edition steel box, and so I can finally play the game. Now that I've been waiting, I don't know. At that point, it'll be 7 years since they announced it. Like, no, fuck you, Square Enix. Like, give me Final Fantasy 12 and I'm fucking done. Eat dicks. I'll go play the re-release of the original Final Fantasy 7.
But the shoulder pads, though.
Shoulder pads?
Them big, bulky cloud shoulders.
Stupid low poly. I don't want to do this anymore.
Man, this has been like a grumpy podcast. We've been a bunch of grumpy shits.
And I've had coffee, so these are like my legitimate thoughts.
I know,
This
that's
isn't me just
amazing.
being
Like, you're just
grumpy.
legitimately that grumpy of a person.
I'm not that grumpy of a person. I'm
Just fuck Square Enix, bro.
dude. I have been a Square fan since the first Final Fantasy came out, and I
Damn,
feel
bro.
like
Was that back whenever they had, like, dirt was invented or something?
yes, but like I
Dirt
feel
TM.
I feel like Square Enix as a company has lost sight of what gamers want. Like they're trying, instead of trying to be reactive to what gamers want, they're trying to dictate the video game industry, and I think that's going to tank them because their IPs aren't that strong anymore. Like right now, think about it. We're waiting on a third entry to a game that came out
In 2000.
15 years ago,
Yeah.
and a remake of a game that came out 20 years ago.
Now they are working in conjunction with Crystal Dynamics to make a Marvel-based RPG. I know Square Enix has that going on. I don't know if they're
I mean,
publishing
but-
that or actually developing.
But when's it
that.
going to come out? I don't care. Tell me when it comes out. Don't tell me about it like right now because I don't
It's
give a
gotta
fuck.
But all right, but they're hopping on the Marvel train probably a year or two too late. Like by the time
Yeah.
it comes out, I mean the Avengers will probably already be out. I mean people are going to be done with it. It's
By the
not
time it
gonna
comes
have-
out, the people who are playing the Avengers will have retired from acting.
Damn.
dang ma.
Yeah, fuck you, Square Enix. I don't give a shit.
I will say that seems to be like kind of a, I don't want to say a reoccurring thing, but like, because Konami, same thing with Konami, they're like, fuck video games, we're gonna make pachinko machines now.
Yeah.
And so it seems to be like a thing with, these Japanese developers and them just being like, we're just not gonna do good work anymore.
I mean,
Well, it's like they're like the person that doesn't want to do client work anymore, so they like price themselves out of work. They're just like, fuck it. I don't want to say that I quit, but like, if you're stupid enough to do this, if
I'm
you're
too
stupid enough to
expensive
buy
for
into
you.
this,
Yeah.
yeah, then I'll take your money, but like, don't expect me to give a shit.
Yeah.
Hashtag wedding photography.
hashtag John Malasa.
Visit me at johnmelanson.com.
Not to be confused with the other John Malasa.
Oh, Jesus Christ. We can't do that on this podcast.
That's going to be the new Sean Murray. We have to bring up that specific thing every podcast.
Every time you say my name, I'll have to like preface which one it is.
You don't even know who you are anymore.
What's your middle name?
Identity crisis.
Like for a long time, I was wondering if I actually was schizophrenic.
All right, well, I'm done.
I'm done.
John, have you gotten everything off your plate? You
Oh,
good?
not even
Off
close.
your testicle.
Like, are your chesticles good?
I mean, I think they're passable.
Here, right here. They're good. Are they ripe, and nice and firm?
Well, you could
Like moist bread.
They got a few more days in them. Oh, do we have to tell the
It's like a warm avocado.
Oh, gross.
It's right.
So at that point, it's basically guacamole.
That's what's in here.
like-
All right,
Where I keep it.
guacamole tits. Let's do this.
That's like a great insult. Like, guacamole tits.
Well, it's funny because it's like fat shaming and racist at the same time,
Hitting them at
and
all levels.
sexist.
All levels.
It's a well
Also,
layered
fuck
insult.
vegans.
Right?
Gotta insult somebody else in there.
Well, now you got to throw a trigger warning in here.
I'm pretty sure we should just put a trigger warning at the beginning of our channel.
That's right.
As soon as
We'll put a semi-up.
Let's just change it from podcast to trigger warning.
Well, when
Triggered house.
when we were doing when we were doing Out Loud Thinking, I was actually trying to get the URL for triggerwarning.com. That's what I wanted our show to be called.
fucking
Not surprising, it was already taken.
man, I'm telling you, I now remember I gotta change his name in Slack to Trigger Jim.
Please, with an A, not an ER.
Trigger Jim.
That's gonna be.
Oh my god.
Did that just hit home?
I'm done. All right. Thanks so
up,
much for
guys?
listening to
I'm
this podcast. I'm Alex.
I'm Jim.
I'm Eric.
And this was Immature Hour number 25.
And he's John.
I'll leave it up to you to decide which one.